Hi, and welcome to Hi-Fi Corner's YouTube channel. I'm Joe, and today we're going to be looking at PrimaLuna's flagship power amplifier, the DiaLogue Premium HP Power Amplifier. This power amplifier is a beast. It comes in weighing at 31 kilos. It's 220 millimeters in height. It's 370 millimeters in depth and 381 millimeters in width. It has the classic midnight blue casework that's hand polished, very nice looking indeed. You have this front fascia here that is a solid piece of aluminum, and you have your indication lights here if you're in triode mode or ultralinear mode. Now let's have a look at the back, okay? So taking a look at the side here, you have your switch for your tube selection there. So EL34s on the bottom, KT88s, KT120s, and now KT150s on top there, okay? Rear panel, you have your input right there. Again, rear mounted RCA terminals there. You have your stereo mono switch there. Now, looking at your speaker terminals here, you have a 16 ohm tap, you have an 8 ohm tap, you have a 4 ohm tap, and then you have your negative tap right there. What happens when you go into mono mode, so that is stereo mode, that's what you have the options of. When you go into mono mode, this goes down to an 8 ohm tap, this goes to a 4 ohm tap, and this goes to a 2 ohm tap. And you can see down here, you may not be able to see with the camera angle, but that's saying mono output right down there. All right, so you use the right output when you're in mono, and of course you'd have it switched into mono mode. Like all PrimaLuna kit, PrimaLuna has done a very good job at making sure that valve application is easy to own. And the things that they've included in this is features like the adaptive auto biasing. So say this EL34 goes wrong right here, just this one tube. I can take that one tube out, replace it with a new EL34, and it will automatically bias to match all my other output tubes, okay? Also, I can throw in KT88s, KT66, KT120s, KT150s. You can throw in almost any tube that you like into this amplifier and it will auto bias it. Now, I've heard people having a KT88 here, EL34 here, so on and so forth. I wouldn't really recommend that, but you can do it, and that's how good that adaptive auto biasing really is. It also has bad tube indicators in there. So you no longer have to have a guesswork if you feel a little bit like your right channel's going fuzzy or whatnot. You don't have to go, oh, is one of my tubes bad? No, it will have a light right there. It will come on saying valve 1 is faulty, you need to replace that. And no longer do you also, with the adaptive auto biasing bad tube indicator, do you have to worry about buying match sets or quad sets. You don't have to do that. Again, valve amplification made easy, and that was what PrimaLuna wanted. And they didn't just want it to be easy, they wanted to make sure that it was of very high quality. Some other features that make this very easy to own is that it has power transformer protection. It also has output transformer protection. So if there's something going on with your system, if you miswired it, or if there's a fault within the amp, it's gonna turn those off. You don't have to worry about blowing out your amplifier, okay? So, which is really good, because to replace a power transformer or an output transformer, very costly. Again, PrimaLuna thinking about the customer, saying, hey man, we want to make sure that they don't have to spend an arm and a leg to own our amp. Some other standard features that are included on this, that are included in all PrimaLuna kit, is the dual mono design, is their output transformers. These are made in-house for PrimaLuna, by PrimaLuna, is what PrimaLuna calls smart watts. And what they're doing here, allowing the tube to operate in its sweet spot, giving it a prolonged life. You're gonna find point-to-point wiring with OCC copper silver-plated Swiss wire, TACMIN resistors in there, those are out of Japan, known for their musicality, SCR tinfoil capacitors in there, out of France, what PrimaLuna call their AC offset killer, and that reduces the amount of noise from the power transformers. You can finally tune this amplifier to your listening preferences and what works well with your speakers and your room acoustics. And one of the ways that you can do that, as mentioned before, that this will allow you and accommodate multiple different types of tubes. Another versatile aspect, you have the 16 ohm, you have the 8 ohm and the 4 ohm. When using it in stereo, when you're using it in mono, you have the 8, 4, and 2 ohm. And now you can experiment with your speakers. It is such a versatile amp, and that you can finally tune it makes it a real pleasure using it and having it in your system. Now, I have to say, this literally has become one of my reference amplifiers, if not my reference amplifier. When I want to test an amplifier, no matter the cost, high or low, I judge it against this amplifier. And there's a reason for that. This has to be one of the nicest sounding amplifiers, and it's so easy to use with multiple preamplifiers. Recently, I've tried it with the Bowers & Wilkins 802 D3 speakers and also the Harbeth Monitor 40.2. And I have to say, great success with both of those. I was truly impressed with how it drove the Monitor 40's 12-inch driver. I used it in stereo mode. I didn't even use it in mono. And with that, 70 watts or 72 watts in ultralinear sounded fantastic with it. If you're looking for a well-built, highly versatile amplifier that you can finally tune, this might just be what you've been waiting for. This is Joe from Hi-Fi Corner saying thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves out there, and remember, always enjoy your music.